What is going on, guys? It's your boy Scriv, and welcome back to Toku Talk. Today we are talking episode 2 of Avatar Sentai Dawn Brothers. Now, just for context, because we are still fresh into this Sentai, I haven't memorized the names just yet, so I'm just going to refer to our main cast by their ranger names. Now, also, I do have just one minor nitpick with this episode, and it's just the fact that it was a little bit too fast-paced. Yes, we were introduced to more characters, but it just seemed like everything went by way too quick. But that's the only nitpick that I have for this episode. So we start off with Oni's sister kind of, I guess, coming to terms with what has been going on. Now, mind you, we don't know exactly how long of time has happened between episode 1 and 2. I would guesstimate maybe like about a week or something like that. So she's already, kind of came to grips at the fact that somehow her work has been decided that she's been plagiarizing everything. And so one thing that I also noticed is that the cafe that she basically has been going to in the last episode is actually the same candy shop from Zenkaiger. And so I didn't really pick it up until like today when I viewed the episodes. I was like, oh, okay, they pretty much turned into a cafe, stuff like that, fancied it up a little more. But then we also see that Oni's sister basically got a job working at said cafe, and so she serving everybody. And then you kind of could hear the background people talking about how she basically is plagiarizing and stuff like that. So, but nobody didn't pick up that their server is her, and so she winds up going to her boss, which come to find out is Kaito from Zenkaiger. And so he seems a little bit like, we get the first look of him outside of his Zenkai Black outfit, and he just seems so down and depressing, like oh my god, this isn't the Kaito that we've came to know and love. So she asks Kaito and whatnot if she can wear a disguise, little fake glasses with the plastic nose mustache. He was like, no. And so he didn't just ask her, like, did you plagiarize this? And just casually asked her the question. And I'm just like, okay. So she's been doing pretty much that. She done found herself a job and stuff. And so she winds up having a customer. Now, I don't know if this is actually him or not, but I'll explain, why I say this in a second. But a guy is sitting there in the cafe. She gives him a cup of coffee. He then tells her, hey, I don't have any money and stuff like that. Gives a reason why. I said, the way that money works is it pulls out the greed and the cruelty in people, so he doesn't carry money. So he says, I can pay you for this coffee in giving you a haiku. So Oni looks over at Kaito and he's just like, go for it, whatever. So he gives her haiku. There's that. So then we also get the background of Kiji brother, our Pink Ranger for this season. So come to find out that, we learned in episode 1 that Momoi, he brings, good fortune to everyone as a delivery driver or package deliverer. So he meets Kiji brother, and come to find out that he had his arm in a sling. He said he had dislocated, so Momoi basically pops his shoulder back into place. Everything is going good for him after that. We found out that he's just pretty much the average Joe. He works a job with marketing. Everything is pretty much the way that it should. We also found out that he's married. He says that he's been married for 3 months. And so what I liked about this scene, now mind you, I did find it just a little bit corny, but I also found it adorable at the same time, is that he goes to pick up his wife after work. It's late at night. So they're crossing the street. 18-wheeler comes out of nowhere, basically was going to hit them as they were crossing. And so his wife covers her face out of fear. He takes advantage of that, transforms and then basically gets her to safety. So then when she realized what happened, she asks what happened. He says, I don't know, maybe God protected us. She's like, no, it was love. That was so adorable yet so corny. I still loved it. So then we get the backstory for our Pink Ranger, because we also see of how he got his powers. Same way with Oni's sister. The glasses comes up out of nowhere, and so they basically force themselves onto him, and so he becomes Kiji brother. So there we have him. So then, now the main story of this episode is that we get to see Momoi, pretty much at work. And the thing is, he is so honest that the synopsis of Down Brothers, when we first got the reveal for it, is that he cannot lie. And so we do begin to see that. But he is so honest with everything and everybody that it basically, later down in the story, I believe it will be his downfall and played as one of his flaws. The reason why I say that is because we get to see, I think it was like two or three of his other co-workers, as well as his boss. His boss, I can't remember exactly what her name was, but she's an older woman in her late 60s, but yet, she's, full of energy. She's not the old lady type of boss. So she makes lunch for everybody. Everybody challenged Momoi to a game of rock, paper, scissors, to which they asked him, what are you going to go for? And he kept saying, I'm going to go for paper, I'm going to go for rock. So they knew, okay, I can beat you because this is what you're saying you're going to have. And then they basically kind of played him out of his own lunch. So then the comment by one of his co-workers was made to their boss about how young she looks. They say that she looks 40, come to find out she's 68 years old. And so she kept asking, Momoi, how old do I look? He basically said 68. Like he wasn't going, like he can't lie to her. So of course, she started feeling self-conscious about herself and just wanted to look younger. Now, we also are introduced to another one of our characters. I guess I don't know exactly if they're the main bad guys or if they're, just the antagonists or what's going on. But of course, last week we were introduced to Sonoi. And then I think this guy's name was Sonoza. I think that's how you pronounce it. But he's pretty much on the same side with Sonoi. And so when Oni's sister was at work, Momoi's adopted father just pops up out of nowhere in a little hologram on her phone. And I was like, hey, Momoi is going to show up at 3 o'clock at this location. You need to meet him there and pledge your loyalty. So she's like, okay, cool. Like, and then so the question, I don't know who can see this. So she goes to the location. And so she's basically where she needs to be. Now, Momoi does show up, but because she's never seen him in his civilian form, she don't know exactly who she's looking for. So Momoi drives past her in his delivery van, but yet, of course, she don't know exactly how he looks in his civilian form. But yet she sees Sonoza. So now mind you, he's just dead as obvious, out of place, because he's dressed in like this brown trench coat and has like this big ass spear, just walking casually down the street with it. She thinks that it's him. And so now, of course, we also find out that there's a demon that's pretty much, I don't want to say harassing Momoi's supervisor, but the demon basically has been granting her wish. She's been wishing to look younger. She's been basically getting younger and whatnot looks wise due to the demon that is basically circling around her, but yet nobody can see said demon, and not even she can see it. But she winds up getting younger. She goes to work. Everybody's like, this can't be you must be her daughter and stuff. And so she's like, no, it's me. But yet, because nobody believes her, she keeps wishing to get younger to where she keeps asking Momoi, how do I look? now this is the part that kind of got me. I do believe that he knew what was going on with her, and that he kept telling her the truth because, for one, she cannot lie. But then she didn't really look like 68. She looked like she was in her mid to late 20s and stuff. But yet, this is where I figure, okay, Momoy knows what's going on, because he's dealt with this all his life. So he knows that there's a demon that's basically doing all of this to her. So when the time is right, he's going to go and basically exorcise said demon. So this is when we get our climactic battle. Sonoy shows up, basically fights the supervisor when she's already transformed into the monster of the week. And so this is where we get the ToQger reference and whatnot with the ToQger Sentai gear. So then here comes Sonoza. And so he's just basically walking into the battle. And so here's Oni sister like, hey, if are you Taru Momoy, I pledge my allegiance to you. He just looks at her and is like, yet another annoying pest, and then just knocks her out the way and stuff like that. And so she's flying back. So then he basically, transforms. He has like a wrist changer, transforms. They start, Sonoza as well as Sonoy starts beating, the monster of the week. Well, here comes Kiji brother. But then we also get the first proper Henshin for Oni's sister. Last week we got Kiji brother. This week we got Oni's sister. So while the two of them are basically fighting the henchmen as well as the two antagonists as well as the monster of the week, now we're introduced to Inu brother. Now, how we're introduced to Inu brother is that we first are introduced to him in his civilian form because Momoy was delivering a package to him. And so then he shows up, gets the package. Well, come to find out, he's a wanted criminal. So he basically avoids the cops. And so Momoy is just like, okay, well, I couldn't create a bond with him, and then just walks off. So then Inu brother basically, disappears and stuff. And so then he shows up into battle. And I can't remember the passing comment that Oni's sister said, but she pretty much made a comment about his height because Oni brother literally is about 2 feet tall in his mort form. So he looks at Oni's sister and was like, look, this isn't by choice. And so I just love how he's just basically jumping on one of the henchmen and they're just like, and so I just found that funny. But we then, here come Momoy. He transforms and stuff like that. We get his proper henshin as well. And so we also see that the Dom brothers can actually take one of the Sentai gears and transform to a different Sentai member based on the color of how they are. So for instance, Inu brother was able to transform into Real Soul Black. And once he gained his natural height, he's like, okay, that's better. Just started fighting. So then Kiji brother transforms into Real Soul Pink. And so he was like, wait, isn't this a girl's color? And so we all, see them fight. And so then we also get the mecha battle. Love the mecha battle. I like, to be honest, I actually do love the way that they have the CGI for said mecha fight. Still can polish it up with Kiji and Inu brother, but that's another story for another day. So then, after Monster of the Week is destroyed, everybody goes back to normal. And so then we see Kaito in Zenkai Black form pick up the ToQger Sentai gear, puts it into his buckle, walks off. So after that, everybody just goes back to basically living their normal life and stuff. And so we then also see how pretty much a montage of everybody, but the guy that was giving the haiku to Oni's sister at the coffee shop or the cafe, we see him again. And so he's just, sitting in public and everything, writing different Japanese kanji and stuff. So I do believe that he is Saru brother that is coming next week. And so I'm excited. I actually do like what they're doing with Dom Brothers. I cannot wait until we see what goes on, because next week Saru brother does make his appearance, as well as the third antagonist for the group that's basically with Sonoi. And so I can't wait. I'm excited and whatnot, and I do give it a huge thumbs up. If you guys have not been able to watch it just yet, I suggest that you do go check it out for yourself. It is fun. It is extremely high energy, and I love everything about it. So I'm going to end this video here. This has been your boy Scriv, and I will see you guys next week.